one of my wife's uncles wanted me to. I remember the first holiday I came over, asked me to sit down and watch a Filipino film with them that was all in Tagalog, which is the Filipino language, and I couldn't possibly understand it.
Was it Salom?
I don't know.
Was it in subtitles?
No.
Did they know that you were pro-Galag?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that was the only.
Give me my ring, you precious.
Yeah, that was the one uncomfortable thing, and
Well, that's not the in-laws, even though. That's
no, yeah, exactly. I was young, and for the record, he's one of the nicest guys in the world, and I love that guy now. But it was I was the new white guy coming into the house. Who the hell's this creep?
What about you?
Yeah, that's
Keith?
got to make it so much harder. I get
In-laws?
along fabulously with my in-laws. The one awkward time was the time that I ripped the phone book ripping incident. My wife happened to be coming home with her father at the time from shopping, so he was there for the aftermath of that whole thing. So that was a little uncomfortable. But
Uncomfortable because he was looking for a number, and that page was ripped right in half.
To which he asked me, "How much did you drink?" And I said about whatever I drank, and his response was, "Maybe you shouldn't drink." Which was probably, even though I haven't...
He's an educated man.
Even though I've ignored a piece of advice, that was probably a pretty good bit of advice there.
What did you say to him after that? Bring it in, bro. Bring it in. Give me a hug.
Nah, then he would have knocked me out.
Oh, really? Is he like a big dude?
He's a karate teacher.
Oh, get out of here, really?
Oh.
He's the nicest guy in the world, though.
I don't want to be
I'm terrified of him.
I would
But
really.
he's the nicest guy in the
I gotta
world.
be honest. The one time I met him, nothing.
He's
even,
the nicest guy in the world.
nothing even
I'm married to his
slightly-
daughter, so by default, I'm terrified of him because I know that when you're married.
I'm the same way with my father-in-law. I am terrified. God forbid if I disrespect my wife in any way, I
But-
would not
Exactly.
want him to get
Exactly.
back at me.
When I
man.
first met my girlfriend, it was over at his house, at her father's house, and he brought me upstairs to show me. He started talking about his problems in the barn in the backyard with bats, and hey, come on upstairs, I'll show you how I fix that. And
Billy Bats.
he pulled up back his desk and pulled 2 or
God.
3 shotguns from behind it and showed me, yeah, this is it. I keep this one loaded, and if you can see in here, he opened it up and showed me the.
I thought he
It's
said.
like, yeah.
I thought he says I have a problem with bats, and you go up there and there's about 1,000 baseball bats, and he starts beating your ass.
I have a problem with bats. I've had no one to hit lately. Tommy.
Yeah, I've got to
He's
be.
looking at me the whole time while he's opened up the gun and everything. It was something out of some cliche out of some movie. But
I've got to be honest.
message received.
I'm the exact opposite.
You
I'm
don't
the
feel a
exact
little
opposite.
weird that you're taking.
I
this-
don't. I mean, at the risk of coming off like a real hey, dude, I'm so tough and cool. I have essentially become the alpha male in that family when I married into it. They're nice. They're super nice people, and that's not to say it's just I'm Christmas is about me carving the turkey for them and stuff like that.
Well, not to get too personal, but aren't they considerably older, probably, than our in-laws?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. My wife is the youngest in the family, and
Oh, I have siblings.
So you
Okay.
But if you beat up your wife or something, your father-in-law would find some way to kick your ass.
I don't think he could.
So
I don't think
you're saying,
he could
what
if
you're
he
saying
was
is you,
future.
you can beat up an elderly guy. That's real nice.
I'm not saying that I
Hope
could.
you're real
I'm
proud of yourself,
I'm saying
pal.
I'm just saying that there's no that
saying
that,
you will.
that threat isn't there. For me.
Filipino karate is the deadliest of the karates.
Yeah, I know. I mean, her brother's is in the military. Her brother's in the army. He would knock me up, and I don't even. I'm not even slightly threatened by them, at all. And that's not because I'm some sort of
They're
gay.
5'4".
There's no reason to be, though.
They're 5'4", 120.
Exactly. Well, it's not.
He'd still destroy him.
It's not a matter of the I'm a tough guy and I could beat them up thing. It's I just don't feel that from them. I don't feel that from them at all.
Don't you write a fanzine? I could beat up most in-laws.
Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do. 6 people are laughing right now.
6.
Yeah, I'm laughing 3 times over. That's why. But no, I don't.
It's like
It's not the relationship I have with them. I would
Okay.
never even slightly. I don't feel slightly threatened by them, even in the least.
Not
I feel
threatened.
but I feel like I am in that family.
Do you feel like you belong?
100%.
Even in the beginning. I'm saying.
No, not that day when they tried to make me sit down in front of that Filipino film. And,
Okay.
but it was just the one guy that did it. I feel I feel totally a part of that family. I feel more a part of that family than my own. Mm-hmm.
See,
Absolutely.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice in some respects and unbelievably sad in others. The fact that I feel totally distant from
When
those
God
that are my
opens the
blood.
door, he closes the window.
When God opens one door, it stays closed because he's not real.
Are they religious?
Oh God, yeah, that's the other
That's the
hilarious
sticking
thing that my wife and I laugh about that all the time. That both my grandmother and my in-laws can't get enough church. Ooh. That literally, like when we look for them, hey, we want to run to the store really quick. Could you watch the baby for a couple of minutes? Because it's going to be a toy store or something there. She'll see something we don't want her to drag her out there, and then it's going to turn into a whole thing. And like any time of day, any day of the week, she could just be at church. She might not be at church. She might be at prayer group. You know,
confession.
She might be at, well, no, there it's what just happened?
Just playing some Christian rock to back up your story.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, but she's constantly at church or a prayer group or like some sort of like rosary or something.
My girlfriend's father, until he passed away recently, was the deacon at his church, and her mother still is like in the chorus. Every Sunday they sing.
Is she big? Is your girl big into it, Brian? Or no?
She's not big into it, but she's a believer.
Did she? Oh, she is.
You have no problem being in a relationship with a believer being
It's weird.
a non-believer?
It's weird. It's not so much weird for me. It's probably a lot weirder for her because I'm constantly poking fun at how silly people are for believing in God.
She probably
and-
feels the need to save you, you think?
No, nothing like that. No, she just doesn't want me to keep rubbing the fact that God doesn't exist in her face, and I can't stop myself.
Well, that is kind of a messed up thing. You shouldn't. If she believes in it, let her believe in it, man. It's like a
jerk.
little kid believing in Santa Claus, and you have to ruin the little kid's thing.
But that directly opposes what he believes. So I
That's
do
all right.
understand it. Don't get me wrong. I don't throw it in my wife's face.
I
like,
do, and I'm a jerk about it sometimes.
Because you
And I
don't
feel
know
bad
it
about
doesn't
but
exist
But
either.
it's a
You have
joke.
the proof.
It's a jokey joke. It's kind of like I'm just prodding.
It's funny because it's true.
You know what's going to be funny about that is like when she's telling you like I told you when you're burning in hell.
No, she's going to tell him when she marries a nice Christian man, and not Brian.
Well, I will say perhaps it is just a lack of knowledge. I mean, of all three of those people, I think I've read the Bible most and know more about like their religion than they do and all that stuff.
I can't stop reading the Bible lately.
Really?
Not for any kind of religious purpose. Just I'm obsessed with it.
But the thing is, he's obsessed with the Book of Kings. He just wants to know who begat who. That's the only thing he cares about.
I'm big into numbers. Numbers is my
So
favorite.
much begatting. They begatting all the time.
Dude, I begatting.
Why isn't that the new slang term? That's
Honestly, I
awesome.
begatting.
That's great. It's like you be illin. You be gatting.
Yeah, seriously. Like most people think like I'm talking about guns, like I'm talking about getting skins, bro. I be gatting. I be gatting bitches.
My wife's in-laws aren't. My wife's in-laws. My parents. I guess.
My wife's in-laws look strangely like my parents.
My wife's in-laws begat me. Actually, her parents aren't very religious, but on her father's side, her uncle and grandmother are extremely religious. And one of the most uncomfortable moments ever was her uncle discussing how I think it was discussing how abortion is bad, and my wife just going off on him, and I said, why do you even have to have the discussion? It just makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, there was no need, by the way, to turn that down because I'm kind of getting. Is this really Christian rock?
It's a band called Soul Junk, an indie rock band, and
I dig 'em.
They're hardcore Christian rock. I love them.
By the way,
It was
Hardcore
actually really good.
If you want a point of reference, Amos 3:28, The Lion Has Roared.
Hey, Keith, is your wife mad at me? She sent me a MySpace message.
Oh God, here we go.
Listen. She sent me a MySpace bulletin, and all she wrote in it was "Oh, really?" with an exclamation point at the end of it. And I was wondering,
You know what that's about? Because she listened back to the show, and when earlier I mentioned, you want to hear more of that, or should I just leave it off? Yeah, let's leave it off.
Yeah.
You want to hear more of it?
No, let's hear how much your wife hates me.
Yeah, well, no, just give me the MP3s later. Actually, I guess it would probably make more sense.
It's really.
God's
They're
making
from a
me
band
sick.
called Truman's Water, who were like noise indie rock, and it's a lot of dissonance involved. But they're a good bunch of guys, and they're going to be in
I
heaven.
thought Truman's Water was the sequel to Miller's Crossing.
Actually, it's that movie with Jim Carrey. Where
Just watch that
Keith
again
the
last
flex
night.
really
Me
well.
too. I watched it like 2 days ago.
That was-
What'd you say?
Why does your girlfriend? Why does your wife hate?
So anyway,
Freddie
we were
again?
listening to when you made the comment that I mentioned before about you talking about